Week 2 is in the books. We are now in week 3 of the NFL season. Let's get it.
There we go. I'm ready.
What is up, know-it-alls? We are back with another episode. We are previewing week 3 of the NFL season. First up, Joey, we got Thursday Night Football, tonight's game, the Jets versus the Browns. Who you got, buddy?
I mean, boy, isn't this, a battle of two titans? I mean, man, the Jets and the Browns.
Two Goliaths.
Let me tell you, I think the goal for just every other team in the NFL right now is to just not give the Browns their first win.
Dude, right?
No,
is it not
no
like
one wants
everyone's
to be
like,
that
we don't
team.
want to be that team? Like,
No one wants to give it up. No one wants to give it up. But the thing is, the Browns are not terrible. Like, you have to game plan for the Browns. Like,
yeah.
Don't let the 0-1-1 record fool you. They could easily be 2-0 right now. That's the crazy part. So I think there's actually going to be a pretty good game between the Jets and the Browns, but I mean, I just got to give it to the Jets for this one. I think they'll pull out the W because I think the Browns will figure out some way to Browns it up at the end.
Yeah, that sounds like wishful thinking on my side, just because everyone thinks like, oh, the Browns aren't as bad as they used to be. They're still pretty bad. I mean, people still say the Browns being the Browns. They're doing the same things that lose games all the time. So I'm not really with you as far as, oh, they're not that bad, they're not that bad. Like, they are kind of that bad. Like, they still haven't won a game, and until they win a game, I'm basically not going to consider them a decent or, oh, watch out for them sleeper pick or anything. But, as I trash the Browns, I'm going with the Jets as well.
Oh, really, man? I thought after all that you were going to stick with the Browns for this one.
All right, next up, we got the Raiders versus the Dolphins. Dolphins all the way, baby. Dolphins are favored by 3, by the way, at home.
They're playing at home. Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins are one of the surprise teams of the year so far. I mean, no one ever thinks about the Dolphins outside of Miami. I think it's a pleasant surprise that the Fins are 2-0. And I think they're going to make it 3-0 against the Raiders. I just don't like anything the Raiders are doing right now. Gruden, I don't know what the hell's going on with that team.
Chucky, he's a loser. He's a loser.
Yeah. I think Tanny's going to lead them to another win this week.
Oh, yeah. Behind Tannehill and that studly defense. You saw that front seven in week 2, baby?
Yeah, your defense is pretty underrated.
Dude,
I mean,
we were getting pressure. We're going to be all up in Derek's grill. Marshawn Lynch isn't going to get anything going. Bro, we're going to be all over them.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going
ready
with
for it. What we got next?
Dolphins over the Raiders. Next up, we got the Saints and the Falcons. Falcons
This is
are
gonna be a
home,
good one.
favored by 3.
This is going to be a good one. Both offenses, I think, are going to be able to put up big points. Both defenses, I think, are going to give up a lot of points. I don't know. I mean, I think the Saints have a little bit better of an offense, but I'm just going to go with the Falcons at home. I think they're going to put it together a little bit more. I think their defense is a little bit more solid than the Saints, so I'm going to give it to Matty Ice and the Falcons.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with the Saints just because I think this week they right the ship. I think they've really been missing Mark Ingram as far in the run game and even in the pass game a little bit as far as their stability on offense, being balanced between the run and the pass. But I think this week, they're finally getting their momentum going, and they're realizing that they can do it without Mark Ingram. And he's just going to be, when he comes back in week 4, this team's going to hit on all cylinders, I think. So I'm going to go with the Saints over the Falcons.
Okay. All right. I respect it.
Next up, we got 49ers and Chiefs. Chiefs at home, favored by 6.5.
I think that's too little. The Chiefs are going to win by 2 touchdowns at least.
Really?
At least. I'm telling you, Mahomes might go for 12 touchdowns in the first half of this game.
Wow. See, I think the Chiefs are good. They're better than I thought they were, but I think you're a little too high on them. You think they're the best team in the league. I don't know about that.
They are the best team in the league. I'll bet every dollar I got they finish with the best record.
I've seen a lot of teams start off the year with hot offenses and not a lot of defense to back it up, and they blow out teams with lesser talent. And then once they get into the end, when it gets to the postseason, they kind of struggle because you need a defense late in the year.
I mean, their defense is like not great, but it's not bad. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just saying.
I mean, if you could put up points at the end of the day, then that's what matters. The team with the most points at the end of the game usually wins it, and it's going to be the Chiefs that are doing that.
I'm going to roll with the upset. I'm going with the 49ers in this one.
You're crazy. You're just saying that just to piss me off.
I am not just saying that to piss you off, dude. I think the 49ers got this. I think they have a decent defense. And I think now that we have 2 weeks of Patrick Mahomes on film, I think a week of studying and having film on him, the 49ers will be right, and they'll be ready to take him out in Arrowhead.
Heavy disagree with you on that one.
All right. Let us know in the comments down below who you think's going to win. That's my upset of the week, by the way. Okay, we got the Bills and the Vikings next. Vikings at home, favored by 16.5.
I think that's still too small. Do we even really need to go into this one? The Vikings are going to destroy them.
Yeah. No, yeah, the Vikings are definitely going to pound them. The Bills might go defeated. They're really bad this year, especially if the rookie the rookie quarterback is going to be the starter for the rest of the season, and
he has to.
They're just bad. I feel bad for Josh Allen at this point.
Yeah, and they might lose LaShawn McCoy because he's still got that whole legal thing going on. He's getting sued by his ex-wife or his girlfriend or whatever.
My gosh.
So I know.
Maybe he'll retire. Too. Maybe he'll retire a third quarter.
Pull Avante Davis. I wouldn't be surprised.
Hey, but that's none of my business.
Kermit meme.
All right, so next up we got the Colts and the Eagles. Eagles at home, favored by 6.
Maybe it's just wishful thinking for me, but I'm gonna go with the upset. I think Andrew Luck, old Stanford's gonna pull it out. He's gonna put the team on his shoulder and throw him to a win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the other way. I think the Eagles. I think you're just saying that because you're a Giants fan. You don't like the Eagles, so you're a little delusional on this topic. But honestly, the Eagles are going to have so much momentum. That crowd is going to be rocking. Carson Wentz is back. All the momentum. They're at home. The Colts are a kind of a good-ish team, but the Eagles with that defense at home, I don't think they have enough.
I don't know. We'll disagree on this one.
So next up, we got the Redskins and the Packers. Green Bay is favored by 3 on the road.
I think this is fair. I think God, I don't know what to think about this Redskins team. Alex Smith is not terrible. Their whole team isn't terrible, but they just don't inspire me. I think with a team like this is the kind of team that Aaron Rodgers is just going to eat alive. I think he's going to pull one out on the road. Packers. I'll give him Packers by a touchdown.
Packers by a touchdown. Yeah, I'm going to roll with Green Bay, too. They showed me a lot last week, even though they got a tie at Minnesota. I thought Minnesota was going to win that game. Not by a lot, but I thought they were going to handle them. And, they were in it. I could argue, you could argue both ways that the Minnesota feels like they should have won because of the missed field goals in overtime, and Green Bay felt like they should have won the game at the end of the fourth quarter. But, they showed me a lot against Minnesota on the road, so now going to the Redskins with Rodgers, again, my Super Bowl favorite. I picked the Packers to win the Super Bowl this year. I'm riding with them the whole way against the Redskins. I think them by a touchdown, honestly.
I got to look up the stats. Has a Super Bowl winner ever had a tie on their record?
Maybe I've predicted the first. Who knows?
There you go.
All right, next up we got the Bengals versus the Panthers. Panthers favored by 3 at home.
You know what? I kind of like the Bengals this year. They are just a whole conundrum. You don't know what the hell's going on in Cincinnati, but they're 2-0. AJ Green looks just as solid as always. Joe Mixon has been coming on strong so far this year. I think they're gonna pull it off. Pull it off the upset on the road. I think they're gonna be 3-0 after this.
I'm with you because I called it. Well, I called it in the beginning of the season. Joe Mixon, just the fact that they are committing to the run with Joe Mixon and they're going to give him 20, 25 carries a game. It just gives balance to the offense. It makes Andy Dalton a little better of a quarterback. It allows things to open up for AJ Green deep down the field. You saw last week he had 3 touchdowns in the first half. So I think the Bengals are different this year just because of their balance on offense. They're not just chucking the ball down the field 40, 50 times a game. And it's the Bengals, so I think they're going to win this game, but I think they'll go to the playoffs and lose in the first round of playoffs again if they make the playoffs. So it's typical Bengals. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon by any means. I think they're going to be decent this season. I think they'll have maybe 10 wins, and then they'll get bounced in the first. They'll get bounced in the first round.
That's surprising. Okay, what do we got
I can
next?
see
We
them
got
going 10-6. You got to go 10-6 to pretty much make it to the playoffs. Sometimes a 9-7 team gets in there.
I don't see them making the playoffs.
AFC's not that strong this year.
That's fair.
All right, next up we got the Titans and Jags at home.
This is gonna be another Jaguars win, 3-0. Blake Bortles, was on easy mode in Madden last week. He was playing outside of his mind. If he can continue even a semblance of that, I mean, it's just going to be smooth sailing for the Jaguars this year. I think they're going to win this game pretty handily against the Titans.
Yeah, Jacksonville is much improved. If Blake Bortles can be 80% of what he was in week 2, Jacksonville is the favorite to win the Super Bowl, in my opinion. No team's gonna even if he's 80% of what he was. He was playing lights out. By far the best game he's ever played as a pro. And if he's consistent like that, he's not turning over the ball and he's managing everything. And you talk about Leonard Fournette coming back later on in the season. This team, like the ceiling, I mean, there's nothing they can't accomplish. I mean, they're the Super Bowl favorites, like I said. If Bortles keeps playing consistently and Leonard Fournette comes back healthy and consistent.
I don't know. They got to make it through my Chiefs, man.
You and those Chiefs, dude. Get
I don't
out
know,
of
man.
here. Wait till they see a real defense like Jacksonville after a whole year of tape on Mahomes. Because people don't have tape on Mahomes yet. They have 2 games. That's not a small. That's a very small sample size. Wait till a real defense like Jacksonville gets an entire year on him, and they got him in the playoffs.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, if and when Mahomes goes to Jacksonville and tears it up, I'm gonna throw the biggest "I told you so" right at you.
Hey, if they play in the playoffs, we got to make a big bet on that now.
That's fair. I can live with that.
All right, next up we got the Broncos and the Ravens.
I mean, these are 2 teams where you sort of, I don't know what to think about them right now. I mean, they both have their high moments. They both look like they could lose at any moment, though. Case Keenum looks to be a pretty solid answer at quarterback for the Broncos. Their defense is scary as always. And then the Ravens, I mean, I guess they're just chugging along. Joe Flacco's still doing his thing, but I'm going to go with Denver in this one on the road.
All right. Baltimore's actually favored by 5. I'm going to go with the Ravens just because Baltimore's at home. Baltimore's a completely different beast when they're at home. Alex Collins really hasn't been getting going lately for the start of this season. I expect him to get right again. I think he'll have a good game coming out this week. And I think Crabtree gets a little mojo going. He's been hit or miss the first couple of weeks. I think Michael Crabtree will have his first decent game for the Ravens, and I expect them to beat the Broncos at home.
Okay, we'll disagree on that one.
Next up, we got the Giants and the Texans.
Another clash of the Titans right here. I mean, boy, 2 teams that are 0-2. I mean, it's weird that they're both 0-2, but it's very clearly going to be the Texans. The Texans just have them beat just in every which way. This is going to be an easy loss for the Giants. I do not have any faith in this weekend. Our offensive line is just absolute garbage. I think you would be a better right tackle than Eric Flowers. Boy, I mean, it's gonna be so depressing to watch. I'm gonna watch the whole game, but I'm not looking forward to it.
I'm with you. I think the Texans are gonna get back on track this week. It's a nice tune-up game.
Yeah.
It's a nice Savannah State game, playing the worst team in the league potentially and getting back on it and getting a win. And Deshaun Watson will be feeling good about himself again, and hopefully they'll get back on track for this season because they are 0-2, and I think 0-2 teams' likelihood of making the playoffs is 11% historically in the NFL when you start off 0-2. So they need a win desperately if they have playoff aspirations
not ideal
this year. Next up, we got the LA Rams versus the LA Chargers. Chargers are at home, and they're favored by 7.
Yeah, I think this is going to be another high-scoring game. I know you're pretty all in on the Rams defense, rightfully so. But, I think the Chargers offense is just on fire right now. I think Melvin Gordon is playing great. Phillip Rivers is doing Phillip Rivers things and just passing for just not a yard. And I think it's going to be 30-27, the Rams. I'm going to give the Rams this one.
I got Rams 35-10.
Wow. 10?
The Rams are the best team in the league, and it's not even close.
Dang.
If you watch the games, they are dominant on every aspect, and they have no weaknesses. They have no weaknesses, and they are dominant offensively, defensively, and special teams. They have a great secondary. They have great linebacking core. They have a great front seven. They have an awesome offensive line. They have one of the better younger quarterbacks in the league. They have the best running back in the league, and they have great wide receivers. There's no weakness to this football team. They're the most complete football team I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't think their water boys are that good. So there you go. There's a weakness right there.
I am all in with LA Rams. They are incredible. And for all those people that thought like, oh, maybe that they would have some chemistry issues because they added all these guys, that is farthest from the truth. This team is clicking on all cylinders, and it's all the credit to Sean McVay, honestly.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, next up we got the Bears and the Cardinals.
These are two teams that are just both either average at best. I think the Bears are just going to win by default just because the Cardinals are so bad this year. I think they're pretty lucky that the Bills and the Giants are taking all the spotlight from them because the Cardinals are also one of the worst teams in the league. They are just inept at talent besides David Johnson. And I think the Bears are going to win this one just by default.
Yeah, I'm with the Bears too. I feel like I've been kind of disrespecting the Bears. I haven't given them enough credit this year. Every time I see the Bears, I just assume...
You've been hating on Mitchell, man.
Yeah, I've just been assuming they're going to be bad. But honestly, Khalil Mack, with the addition of him to that defense, it made them a real defense after that. And he has been a catalyst for that defense. Like, they're great. I think Trubisky is good enough. I think Jordan Howard is growing on me. He's a little better than I thought he was. And again, the Cardinals might be the worst team in the league, so Bears by default, just like you. Next up, we got the Cowboys and the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to have trouble because the thing that they killed the Giants at because Eli could not extend plays to save his life. Well, I think Russell Wilson's pretty good at extending plays. I think the Seahawks are going to get in the win column this week. They're playing at home as well. Big stadium. A lot of fan base there. It's going to be really popular. I think that's going to be the deciding factor. I think the Seahawks come away with a win.
Is Earl Thomas playing for the Seahawks or the Cowboys for this game?
He wishes the Cowboys.
I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I'm going to go with the upset. I think Seattle is terrible. They have a terrible offensive line. They have Russell Wilson, and that's it. I mean, let's be honest. They have Russell Wilson and then a bunch of dudes that wear a Seahawks uniform. And I don't think that's a recipe for success. I don't think the Cowboys are super good. I think the Cowboys have a really good defense. And I think it's going to be good enough to shut down the Seahawks offense. And the Seahawks, to me, got manhandled by the Bears. I thought the Bears really dominated them. The score didn't reflect that, but I think if you watch the game, it felt like the Seahawks were never really in the game. And I think the Cowboys are a little better defense than the Bears.
Pains me to hear you say that. Hopefully they don't come away with the W.
Next up, we got a matchup between Bill Belichick and Matt Patricia.
Master against pupil.
Patriots versus Lions. Patriots favored by 7.
Yeah, I think 7 is too little. Also, I think Matt Patricia is going to get stomped by his former boss. And the Pats come away with this one easily. Yeah,
Patriots are taking this. Bill Belichick disciples don't fare well against him when they play against him later on.
Yeah.
Bill O'Brien,
I don't know
Josh McDaniels, all these guys, they get head coaching jobs. They play the Patriots, and they can't get anything going. All right, Monday Night Football, last game of the week. We got the Steelers and the Bucks. We got Fitzmagic and Deshaun Jackson.
Do you believe in magic when it comes from Fitz? Well, you know what? I do. I'm all in on Fitzmagic. This dude is like my favorite player in the league. He's going to lead them to a 3-0. I think the Bucks are they are just hitting on all cylinders right now in offense.
So I have a fun fact for you. If I were to say who leads the league in yards in passing, catching, and rushing, what would you say?
Bucks?
No, I'm saying individual players. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver. Who do you think has the most yards at all 3 of those positions?
I'm just going to go on a limb here and say Fitzmagic is leading in yards for a quarterback.
For quarterbacks, yeah.
Is Deshaun Jackson leading in receiving yards? Because he keeps throwing these 75-yard bombs every game. And then what'd you say about the rushing?
Running. Who's leading the league in rushing yards?
No, it's not someone from the Bucks, is it?
I'm asking you.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm stumped. Who is it?
Matt Beretta
No way.
from San Francisco leads the league in rushing yards. So if I told you for fantasy in the beginning of the year, I was like, after 2 weeks, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Matt Beretta, and Deshaun Jackson would be the top yard earners in the league. What would you say?
I'd say, Dave, go home. You're drunk.
What world do we live in? And with all of that being said, I'm going with the Steelers.
Really?
I'm going with the Steelers. I think the Fitzmagic runs out in week 3.
Never.
I think he can't keep this up. This pace is insane, and they're winning because of it. I think the Steelers are better than any team that they played so far this season. And I think straight up, I just think the Steelers are a better team than the Bucs. I think they'll go in there and Steelers will get the first win of the season.
They're going to go 1-1-1?
1-1-1.
All right. I'm still going with the Bucs. I'm just not, I don't think anyone can beat them right now. They got magic working for them.
Yeah. All right, know-it-alls, that is it. Be sure to smash that like button. If you like this video, make sure you comment down below. Let us know what you think your team's going to do this week. Let us know what we did wrong, what we did right. And as always, hit that subscribe button. Anything you want to say, Joey?
Hit that subscribe button, smash it, hit the bell, all that. No, I mean, this is an insane start to the NFL. I mean, I just can't wait for what's going to happen next. I'm just so curious about all the storylines. It's like a soap opera. What's going to happen next? Josh Gordon going to the Patriots, Antonio Brown saying, trade me then, see what happens. I mean, it's got it all this year, man.
Yeah.
If only the Giants were good.
This is an exciting season, honestly. This is
It's
super exciting. All right, guys, that is it. We will see you tomorrow. Have a good one. We will see you later.
See ya.
Peace.